Heartbreak, the one emotional hurricane everyone secretly fears, yet every soul eventually faces. It doesn't knock politely. It barges in, flips your world upside down, and leaves your heart in pieces, asking questions your mind can't answer. But here's the strange truth. Sometimes, heartbreak is not a punishment. It's preparation. It's life's brutal but brilliant way of saying, you've outgrown this version of yourself. Because sometimes it's not the person you miss, it's the version of you that existed when you were with them. Let that sink in. Heartbreak is a mirror that doesn't lie. It shows you your dependencies, your insecurities, your fears, and your illusions all at once. And it's ugly, but it's also real. Most people spend their lives running from heartbreak like it's a virus. But Stoic philosophers would tell you, don't run. Observe it, dissect it, because inside that pain lies the map to your freedom. Epictetus, a man who lost everything, even his freedom, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you respond to it that matters." Heartbreak is not the villain, it's the invitation. An invitation to rebuild your relationship, not with someone else, but with yourself. When your heart shatters, what really breaks isn't your capacity to love, it's the illusion that someone else completes you, and that illusion was never real to begin with. Before heartbreak, you believed that love meant merging souls, that two people become one. But nature doesn't work that way. You are not half of anything. You are a whole person who can choose to connect, not dissolve. So when heartbreak happens, what's truly dying isn't love, it's attachment. And attachment, though sweet at first, is a form of dependency disguised as devotion. It's like building a house on someone else's land, beautiful until they decide to sell it. Heartbreak, then, is the demolition of the unstable structure you built without realizing the foundation was never yours. Painful? Yes. Necessary? Absolutely. Because once everything collapses, you finally see the ground. And that's where rebuilding begins. Not with fantasy, but with truth. Now, let's talk psychology. Neurologically, heartbreak mimics withdrawal. The same brain circuits triggered by drug addiction light up when you lose someone you love. Your brain screams for dopamine, for oxytocin, for the chemical comfort that relationship used to bring. It's withdrawal, pure and simple. But here's the breakthrough. What feels like loss is actually detox. Your body isn't just mourning someone, it's recalibrating. It's learning how to function without external validation. And that process hurts because your nervous system is being rewired for independence. The Stoics would say, you're returning to yourself. Seneca wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Heartbreak is your adversity, your proof. It's the battlefield where your soul decides whether to collapse or evolve. And evolution rarely feels like enlightenment. It feels like destruction. But destruction is the birthplace of creation. When the storm passes, you begin to notice something miraculous. You smile again, not because someone gives you a reason, but because you found one within. You start valuing solitude, not fearing it. You start loving peace more than attention. And that's when heartbreak stops being pain and becomes power. Because heartbreak is like fire. It burns what's false, and only the truth survives. It burns away neediness, insecurity, the desire to control, all those emotional toxins that once poisoned your relationships. When the smoke clears, you discover what's left: clarity, resilience, and a love that doesn't beg to be returned. Psychologists call this post-traumatic growth, the phase where pain, properly processed, expands your emotional capacity. You become wiser, more empathetic, more discerning. You stop confusing chemistry with compatibility, attention with affection, and comfort with connection. Because heartbreak sharpens your emotional vision, it forces you to stop romanticizing potential and start respecting reality. But let's be honest, that clarity doesn't arrive immediately. At first, heartbreak feels like drowning. You replay conversations in your head. You stalk, scroll, reminisce. You tell yourself, they were the one. But were they? Or were they just the one who revealed what you need to heal? Every heartbreak leaves behind a message, written in invisible ink, and it says, this pain is not to destroy you, but to redirect you. Sometimes you lose someone because life knows you won't move unless it hurts. Sometimes your heartbreak is the only thing strong enough to shake you awake. Because let's face it, when things are comfortable, you don't change. Growth never happens in comfort zones, it happens in emotional earthquakes. And heartbreak is the Richter scale moment when your old identity crumbles. It's the universe taking away what's comfortable to make space for what's authentic. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." That's the Stoic formula for heartbreak. Pain isn't the obstacle, it's the path. Through heartbreak, you learn to detach not from love, but from illusion. You learn to care deeply without clinging, to give without losing yourself, to love, but also to let go. And once you master that, no heartbreak can ever own you again. Because your peace no longer depends on someone else's presence. It comes from inner alignment, not external attention. That's when heartbreak becomes your initiation into higher consciousness. Psychologically, you're rewiring your belief system. Spiritually, you're upgrading your soul. Emotionally, you're maturing beyond dependence. Heartbreak shows you what you thought love was, and what love truly is. You thought love was possession. Heartbreak teaches its liberation. You thought love was merging. Heartbreak teaches its mirroring. You thought love was finding home in another. Heartbreak teaches it's finding home in yourself. And that realization changes everything. Because once you find yourself, you stop chasing people who make you lose you. You stop confusing attention for love and stop trying to fix what disrespects you. You realize peace is the new passion, boundaries are the new chemistry, and emotional maturity is the new attraction. That's the alchemy of heartbreak. It turns your pain into power, your confusion into clarity, and your scars into symbols of self-mastery. Let's get philosophical. Every heartbreak is a rehearsal for death, the death of ego, of illusion, of attachment. It teaches impermanence. It whispers the universal truth. Nothing lasts forever. And that's okay, because impermanence is not tragedy, it's freedom. It reminds you to love fully, but hold lightly, to care deeply, but without chains. The Stoics didn't avoid love, they just loved with awareness. They loved with gratitude, not fear. They understood that every person you love is a gift, not a guarantee. And when the gift leaves, you thank it, not curse it, because it gave you something priceless, awareness. Now imagine viewing heartbreak that way, not as the end of love, but as the evolution of it. You start to see that losing someone can be the moment you meet your higher self. That tears can cleanse the illusions, not drown your hope. And that, my friend, is liberation. Psychologists say the human brain rewires faster through emotional intensity. So heartbreak, though painful, can trigger rapid personal growth. It's why people often find purpose, creativity, or spirituality after a breakup. The pain carves new neural pathways, forcing your consciousness to expand. That's why many artists, poets, and thinkers credit heartbreak as the spark for their greatest work. Because heartbreak opens the door to depth. It makes you feel everything, and that raw emotion is the birthplace of art, wisdom, and empathy. You see, comfort dulls perception, but pain sharpens it. Before heartbreak, you looked at the world through a lens of desire. After heartbreak, you see it through the lens of truth. You start recognizing what's real. You start cherishing what lasts. You stop needing constant validation because you've met your true reflection, and it's enough. And that's when heartbreak becomes your awakening. It's not a failure, it's initiation. Initiation into emotional intelligence, initiation into spiritual maturity, initiation into unconditional self-respect. You begin to understand that love without self-respect isn't love, it's surrender. And heartbreak is how life forces you to stop surrendering your worth. It's the end of a fantasy, yes, but it's the beginning of authenticity. And authenticity is where real love begins, the kind that doesn't take your peace as collateral. So next time your heart breaks, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this trying to show me? Because behind that pain lies a deeper purpose, evolution. And no one evolves in comfort. Maybe heartbreak didn't destroy you. Maybe it's delivering you from illusion to truth, from need to strength, from dependency to destiny. And maybe, just maybe, this heartbreak isn't the worst thing that ever happened to you. Maybe it's the best thing, because through it, you didn't just lose someone, you found yourself.